Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Ron Mackenzie LaFurgy. Mario has been synonymous with video games for years. With countless games spanning a whole whack of systems, you'd be hard pressed to find someone who hasn't played a Mario game. And with so many people interested in the franchise, there are bound to be some fan theories about it. So let's talk about some of my favorites. I'll try not to go into too much detail so this video isn't 30 minutes long, but if you want to learn more, feel free to look into the theories further. Now here are the top 10 craziest fan theories about Mario. Number 10. Luigi is actually insanely powerful. One fan theory states that Luigi stays by Mario's side because Mario is able to keep Luigi in check should his supposed hidden power rear its head. The claim is based on Super Paper Mario, where it was apparently implied that Luigi was the reincarnated version of Count Bleck's great-grandfather and that he is a perfect host for the Chaos Heart, which could destroy every world. Personally, I don't really think this is super likely. I think Luigi is just a taller, greener Mario, but it's fun to imagine Luigi going Hulk mode and destroying everything. Number 9. Mario only went to the Mushroom Kingdom once. The rest was just him trying to look good. This theory states that Mario really only went on the one adventure in Super Mario Bros. And that Super Mario Bros. 2 and 3, as well as the spin-off games, are really just him going around and bragging about his exploits that didn't actually happen. It's stated that he enjoyed the fame from his first adventure so much, he just continued to tell tall tales to those who would listen. So basically they're saying Mario is Gilderoy Lockhart. Cool. Number 8. What's in a name? If you're a fan of Mario, you may have wondered why Mario and Luigi are called the Mario Brothers, because that normally isn't how it works. Chris and Liam Hemsworth aren't called the Chris Brothers. Now one would argue that they're called the Mario Brothers because Mario was the first one and they just wanted to make it easier for everybody to understand. But there are a few theories on this subject that hold water. One of them goes like this. You may have noticed that the other creatures tend to be called the same thing as their species. For example, Yoshi is a member of the Yoshis, Toad is a member of the Toads, etc. This theory states that the Mario Brothers thing stemmed from a miscommunication on Mario's part. It's speculated that when he first arrived in the Mushroom Kingdom, he said, "It's-a me, Mario!" and the other residents believed that Mario was both his name and species. So when Luigi came, proclaiming to be Mario's brother, it was understood that they were brothers of the Mario race, the Mario Brothers. You'd think he'd have just corrected them, but I once went through a year of gym class being called Ronald because I was too shy to correct the teacher. So maybe it's just too awkward at this point. Number 7. Cranky Kong was the original DK. This one's a little smaller, but it actually really holds up to the point where I basically think it's true, and it's important for a later point. In the original Donkey Kong games, you played against a Donkey Kong character who was chucking barrels at you. But later, you play as Donkey Kong Jr., showing that there are 2 DKs. Then, in Yoshi's Island, we learned that DK and Mario were roughly the same age since they were babies around the same time. But the icing on the cake is that in the opening to the SNES Donkey Kong Country, we see Cranky Kong standing on top of the classic cage structure we see in the Donkey Kong games, leading one to believe that he was in fact the original DK, while our Donkey Kong was actually DK Jr. Pretty crazy, plus it helps us to explain the next theory. Number 6. Donkey Kong killed Mario's dad. This one actually makes a little bit of sense. As you may know, the player character in the Donkey Kong classic games is called Jumpman. While many people assume he and Mario are one and the same and merely an expansion of the character, which, let's be real, is almost certainly the way it actually happened, Jumpman seems like he could be a distinct character, seeing as he has a separate life in New York and a different love in Pauline. So some people believe that he was actually Mario and Luigi's father, considering they were the same age as DK Jr. Now in Donkey Kong Jr. you play against Jumpman, and when you win, Jumpman falls to the ground supposedly to his death. I think the whole killing thing might be a bit of a stretch, but the idea that Jumpman is Mario's dad rather than Mario himself is pretty neat, and explains the differences in their backstories pretty well. Number 5. Wario is a Mario superfan. This one's pretty cool. One fan theory claims that Wario is not in fact a complete villain, but rather a huge fan of Mario. And Wario has at times been said to be Mario's cousin, and based on his looks, he's clearly trying to emulate Mario. If you follow this line of thinking, maybe he's just trying to help Mario become stronger by challenging him, like Hunter Zolomon does with the Flash. Oh my god. Wario is like Mario's reverse Flash. He's a big fan of a hero dressed in red who dresses in yellow and becomes the enemy of said hero. Whoa! I mean, in reality, as with most of these theories, I don't think it's actually true. I think Wario is basically just jerk Mario, but the parallels with the Flash are pretty groovy. Number 4. Mario is fake news. Ugh, I feel the urge to slap myself in the face just for using the phrase fake news, no matter how tongue-in-cheek it is. But anyway, there's a theory floating around the interwebs that the story we know of Mario is actually just propaganda put out by Princess Peach. It claims that since we're never really given Bowser's point of view on everything, it's possible that Peach is actually the criminal mastermind, making the world believe that Bowser's the bad guy. This one loses a bit of steam when you think back on all the objectively evil stuff we've seen Bowser do, but hey, who knows? It could be that that's just a lie told by Peach too. And maybe she really is a psychopathic puppet master. Then again, maybe she's just some random princess in a video game and we're reading into it too much. Number 3. Coins are souls. This one's a bit dark. One theory has surfaced that the coins we see in Mario aren't just weird rewards found around the world. They're actually the souls of those who died. This actually sounds pretty legit. It explains why they drop when enemies die and why you can get an extra life if you collect enough of them. So you're basically walking around like Thresh collecting souls to increase your power. Oh god, and those rooms with a bunch of coins are just places where a terrible disaster happened. God, this changes everything. Number 2. M. Bison from Street Fighter is actually Mario. This one totally blew my mind. This series states that both characters are one and the same, pointing to the similar appearance as proof. And they do look super similar. Same hat, same love of the color red, plus they both jump and flip around and stomp on enemies. To make it even more plausible, Ryu was in Smash Bros. 4, which shows that the two franchises are at least somewhat connected. Really cool, even if it is really unlikely. Number 1. The games are a play, and the characters are only actors. And move over Shakespeare, the Mario fans have this one. There's a theory that's gained quite a bit of traction that the games are actually an elaborate stage show, where the characters are just actors playing a part during production. This sounds kinda silly, like it's just conjecture, but there is actually a fair bit that supports the idea. The games themselves have very little continuity, with certain characters changing sides and personalities and abilities throughout the different games. Furthermore, you can often see a camera crew in the games, although this doesn't really make sense because plays don't use cameras, but it is what it is. Finally, and most convincingly, Super Mario Bros. 3 actually comes off rather like a play, even starting with the rising of curtains. Is it true? Probably not. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't thought about so deeply by the developers. But it is pretty darn neat. That's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed these series, whether you found them humorous or intriguing or both. If you enjoyed, please smack that thumbs up button and subscribe to Top 10 Gaming to see more video game videos. Let me know in the comments which of these you think is true. Until next time, I'm Ron Mackenzie LaFurgy with Top 10 Gaming. Later, gamers.